Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome back to the Real Legend of Gaming. We are here with Arena of Valor, folks, and this is Everything AOV Episode 3. And what we'll be discussing today is the balance changes that were recently announced. And honestly, there was a lot of characters that were affected by the balance changes, both positive and negative, and some were just reworked or some stories were rewritten. So we'll discuss all of them, show you some gameplay of the abilities that are in question, and then hopefully we'll continue the discussion through the comments. Alright folks, so let's check it out. Alright folks, so the first hero that will be changed is Maganga. Maganga's third ability, Detonation, will get a nerf. The magic damage is being decreased from his base stat of 140 at level 1 to 120 at level 1, and it corresponds across the levels. However, this is a change as well. The extra damage added with each march is changing from 50% to an actual base stat of 120, and again it changes across the levels. Next hero in question is Fennec. Fennec's first ability, Thief's Mark, is being changed. Now I think overall Fennec is getting a buff that he really needed. So the explosive area physical damage is increasing from 160 base stat to 160 for the first level. However, after level 1, as you see, it goes from 180 to 200, 200 to 240, 220 to 280, and it continues. So it's a pretty sizable difference. Now every normal attack that lands during the mark's duration will have added physical damage at the same values as above. Also, the cooldown's being decreased. As you see, it goes from 12 to 11 and it continues to lower as the levels increase. So for those of you that have been wanting to try out Fennec, you might have a reason to try out the Marksman, maybe switch away from Valheim and give them a try, or even Violet. Next up is Kali. So Kali's getting a full rework, even from the title change where it goes from the aspect of vengeance, it changes to spectral rule. New background story, and all the abilities were changed. So ability 1 being Eternal Blame, the reduced movement speed is going from 15% to 10%. Ability 2 is Incorporeal, is going from the ability power is being increased from 20% to, instead of a percentage, is going to a base stat. So 20% becomes 70, 25% becomes 110, 30% becomes 150, and it continues. Then you got ability 3, which is Grievance. The cooldown is changing from 36 to 30 seconds, and it's actually going to be 30 seconds across all levels. So I see a rework being done, but it's also pretty fair and balanced. Some things are changing for the good, and some are being balanced out to not make her too OP. Next up is one of the newest heroes in North America, Ignis, the Anointed One. He's getting a new background story, and the ability 3, Holy Embers, is actually changing. So the Mark of Flame that usually hits the targets and marks them is changing from 900 to 800. However, the big difference is that instead of it being magic damage, it's becoming true damage. So that's something to keep in mind. Next up is Prada, the Illest. Such a cool name. So ability 1 is called Plague Spectre. The magic damage is changing from 320 to 360. So the Plague Spectre is getting buffed. As you see across the levels, at level 2 is 420 going up to 450, 520 going up to 540, and it continues. And I'm not reading the designer notes, folks, because I'm going to link the article in the description that you guys can go back and check it out. Really with this video, I wanted just to highlight the changes and also show you the abilities in the form of gameplay. That way it's just not me reading off an article, show you that we are trying to give you an idea of how to use the ability, and also you can understand more clearly how the change will go into play. The next up is Jannar. So Jannar's ability 3, Nirvana, is changing the updated ability description and make it more clear that the 70% movement speed bonus is consistent and not increased per nearby enemy. So you're not getting a buff with the more enemies that are nearby. It's just 70% movement speed bonus, which is still incredible. Next up is Morin. Morin's ability 1, Tactical Maneuver, is changing, right? Previously the max stacks was 10, that's going down to 7, and the mana cost is reducing from 40 to 35. So that kind of makes sense, right? You consider the fact that they're reducing the stack, so at least make the ability cost less to use. So that was pretty cool right there. All right, the next hero, and unfortunately I don't have gameplay for him because when I was playing the beta in the EU server, as soon as the North American version came out, I started on that because the ping was much better. But I kind of lost my status over in the EU server. I got to figure out how to maybe put it on a different account, but I don't have gameplay for Superman. So his ability 3, Speed and Bullet, is changing. The cooldown is increasing from 50 seconds to 60, 45 to 55, 40 to 50. So I guess they're trying to find a way to balance Superman out because he's very strong. Real slow, but mighty powerful, right? Next up is Lindis, who is supposed to be coming out in North America this month. Should be very soon. Her ability 3, Lunar Champion, is changing. So the physical damage is increasing from 160 to 220. So pretty big boost. 240 to 300 and 320 to 380. So it's actually pretty exciting because, again, she has not officially released in North America. So with her getting a buff before the release, I'm real excited about that because I wanted to try out Lindis. I'm really intrigued by her abilities, so that should be interesting. Next up is Crixie. Crixie the Pixie is ability 2, which is Nature's Wrath. The cooldown is decreasing from 14.5 seconds at level 1 to 13, and it lowers down as you level up. So you'll be able to use that cooldown a lot more quicker now. Next up is one of the newest heroes, Cricknack. Cricknack's third ability, which I think is real cool, is the Drone Drop. So the physical damage is actually increasing. So for those of you who bought Cricknack in North America, your guy just got a buff. So that damage is going to increase from 350 to 400, 500 to 600, 650 to 800. So that should be interesting as well because that's one of the ultimates that you really can control exactly where you're going to hit. Rather than just sliding it over and hoping that the character does not move in the time that you designate your attack. So that should be good. Next up is Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is also releasing this month in North America. Same reason for Superman. I don't have the gameplay yet, but her passive, which is Amazon Shield, is being changed. So the self-healing effects is increasing from 5, and it's +5 for each level. And that's going up to 10 +7 each level. So it's being doubled. So she'll be doing more self-healing, but then after each level is going to go up +7. So it's a little rework as far as her passive, right? Next up is Slim's. Slim's ability 3, Savage Potion. So the movement speed is decreasing from 20%. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. So previously it would be 20%, 25%, 30%. So it'll be increased with the level. It's going to be 20% always. So it's a flat movement speed. Next up is Lu Bu. So Lu Bu is just getting a background story change. So they're going to change a couple items in the story and make it more appropriate for the character. I don't know what the exact changes are, but if those of you that are into lore, I'm sure you'll pick it up right away. The next up is Chagnar. Might have said the name wrong because I wasn't sure how to pronounce that one, but this here, it's not necessarily like a change to any damage or anything. There was an issue where the buffs were not applying correctly, so it was not stacking whenever an enemy was killed by Shockwave. Neither was it stacking when the enemy immediately leave the skill range after taking damage from Shockwave. So it got fixed, right? There was a fix for Chagnar. Next is my man Valheim. No changes, just improved running animations to make Valheim pretty much look a lot more cooler. I like that. Can't argue with that one. Next is Zuka. Zuka's going to have improved animations as well. And next is Scud. So Scud is getting a change. So with his Furious Charge, it's no longer going to stop upon hitting an enemy hero. So this is really good, and it makes it much better for accurate positioning as well. Next is Langrisser. For some reason, it reminds me of Loki. He's getting an improved appearance. So other than that, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. I try to give you as much information as I can, along with some actual gameplay, to make it more than just, you guys watching me read the balance changes to you. Kind of make it a little more visual for you to see how these abilities play out, and that we could get a much clearer idea of how the changes will impact that ability. So I hope you appreciate the content. If you do appreciate everything, then hit the like button. If you want more future Arena Valor videos and Clash Royale, then hit the subscribe button to get more content, and slap the bell for notifications so that you can get these update videos much faster and get put onto the information in a much more efficient manner. Alright, so other than that, folks, appreciate everything. Peace out.